As a result of the high cost of living in our time, husbands and wives must work to support their families. To do this, they will need a helper, someone who can help with the child care, someone who can help with children, who can help around the house. That is why some families, they need the services of a maid. Welcome to Wano. This is a program that we do every Friday, 7 p.m. UK time. If it's the first time you're joining us, please don't forget to share this program and subscribe to our channel. We are live on YouTube, channel 1 on YouTube. We are live on Wano_JJ on Twitter. We are live on Wano Facebook page. So you can join us, you can watch, you can join the program in any of those programs. Like I said, welcome to Wano. This evening we are going to discuss about why should a maid act as the wife in a family. Why should a maid act as the wife in a family? Like I said at the beginning, because of high cost of living, many families, husband and wife, they have to work. Both of them have to go to work. Because of that, sometimes some of them, they need the services of a maid, especially in the developing world, especially in Africa and some other places. Here in Europe, if you have the money, most times, yes, you need a housekeeper, you need a carer, someone that can take care of your kids, as both from husband and wife. They go to work. And that's what we're discussing this evening. She served us one of the delicious delicacy that I've tasted for a long while. As we finished eating, she came, and as she was cleaning up the table, there was a child crying at the background. You can see that she's hasting up. She's trying to clean up as quick as possible to go and attend to the child. And as she was about leaving, he asked her to get us some drinks. She went in and came back with a drink without saying a word. And as she was leaving, I said, "Thank you, madam." And I turned and asked him, "Is that your wife?" With a smirk on his face, he said, "No, that's our house help." Can I ask him again, where is your wife? She's in her bedroom. So it was a house help. She was the one that served us that food. Why was in bedroom? Maybe she was busy doing stuff, which I didn't ask more. That's what we're discussing this. Why should a maid act as a wife? This is one of those topics that is a little bit controversial because if you look at it, sometimes because a wife is working, the husband is working, they need someone to take the children to school, to bring them back, someone to prepare meals for the kids and all that. If they have kids, so because of that, they need the services of a maid. If they can afford a maid, it's not everyone. Some people, they will bring their relatives, their brother or their sister in the house to help them out. But some people, they prefer a maid. Maybe sometimes they pay them in every month. They pay them weekly. Sometimes they even put them in the maid who live with them and going to school. They will take care of the maid and everything. But what we're discussing this evening, what I want to get to is this. The maid that was employed, or the maid that is in the house, the maid that is taking care of the house, why should she or he take the role of the wife? Like I said, I went to this house. This lady came out. She gave me all the food. Delicious food. She served us after she cleaned up the table, cleaned up everywhere. She was just doing that. And there was a baby at the background crying. As you can see, she was hasting up. She was trying to do quick so she can go and tie to the baby. And the baby was screaming. And as she was about leaving, the person I visited asked this lady, "Can you give us a drink?" She didn't say a word. She went in, brought the drink, we were drinking. And she was trying to rush to go and attend to the baby. And as she was about leaving, I asked the guy I visited, "Is that your wife?" He said to me, "No." And the wife is inside her room. She's in the bedroom. Okay. So the baby was crying and she was at the same time serving us food. So what was she doing? The wife in there when she attended to the baby. So this maid have to serve us, have to bring the drink and clean up all the whole mess. And she have to rush again to pick up the baby. I don't know if I'm communicating. And that's what we discussed. I want us to look into it. Why should a maid act as the wife? Having in mind that when you're married or you have a girlfriend you live with, they got their responsibilities. It's their responsibility to make sure that the kids are okay. They take care of the kids. They take care of the house. They cook the food. They clean up. They serve the food. Especially if you're married, it's the duty of your wife to serve food. Though some homes, husband, if he's the one that like cooking, he can cook and serve the food at the same time. That is the duty of the wife. Cook, make sure that the food is there, make sure that the house is okay, make sure that everything is fine. But when there was a maid, or when they employed a maid in the house, should that maid now take up the role of the wife? I don't know if I put it right. Someone said, just put a comment there, the maid can only take the role of your wife due to many reasons. Amongst Such reasons will be if the wife is lazy and don't care too much about her family welfare. I just said that earlier. I said she was in her room and the baby was crying. Why the maid is the one serving us food? The maid brought the food. The maid that was about clean up of the mess. The baby was crying at the background and the maid was doing what? Rushing, trying to go and attend to the baby. If the madam is not at home, that could have been a different thing. Could have said, okay, it's no one to take care. But she was in her room. She was in her bedroom. Like what Baby Love said. He said, maybe, and because of that laziness, the maid is the one cutting, doing everything in the house, which is not supposed to be. The line is open. Call me. I would like to hear your voice. I would like to hear. If there are some ladies out there, you can call. If you employ a maid, it's the duty of the maid to take over your role as a wife, to serve your husband food while taking care of the kids, take the kids shower, give them food, clean up the house, doing every other thing, everything in the house. At the same time, cook the food. As they say, also serve the food to your husband. That is not acceptable. In my own eyes, I don't think it's acceptable. I don't know how you think. I don't know how you say that. And that is the reason why I want you to call me this evening. I want you to call me to let me know. Explain that to me. While a maid or a housekeeper, a house helper, in any way you want to call it, why should that person take the role of a wife? Hello. Welcome to Wano.
Hello, evening.
Hello, good evening. It's a free question.
Evening.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Wano. The question is, why should the maid act as the wife in the family? Why should the maid take up the role of a wife in the family?
Yeah, I thank God for the question which you brought out. It's a very good question. First of all, let me thank you for your topics which you have been bringing up. It has been changing many lives and giving us or educating us. So this issue you brought out, many wives have left what they're supposed to do in a home and handed over to housemaid. First of all, I will tell you the duty of a maid and the duty of a wife. They call it maid, house help.
Mm-hmm.
The maid, the role there is for her to help the house, the domestic things in the house, while the wife is the house making. She initiates everything in the house. But these days, some women, I don't know whether I will call it ignorance or madam or issue. They don't do their responsibilities. Women, we don't play with our stomach.
Mm-hmm.
True of us.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
So the main thing, the madam or the wives have left the role of serving their husband.
Mm-hmm.
Now shifted everything to the maid, which is not supposed to be so.
Yes.
Maid don't supposed to cook for the husband of the house, but some wives don't even care again. I don't know whether the engagement of their work or anything. They now leave everything where they're supposed to do into the hand of maid. Maid don't supposed to serve food for the husband, the oga. But you see it now, maid are doing those things. Maid don't supposed to cook for the husband or for the oga in the house, but maid are doing those things now.
Mm-hmm.
Maid don't supposed to dress the bed of the husband. You see, maid are doing it these days. So if I begin to mention a lot, the wives have left what they're supposed to do to please their husband. They now shift everything into the maid. That is the reason why tomorrow you hear that oga and maid are having good rapport, because of the madam has left her duties and now shift everything to the maid. So I thank God the topic which you brought today, because it's just to educate the wives for them to know their responsibilities in the house, what they're supposed to do. A maid supposed to have if I use that word, bridge where she's supposed to reach.
They're supposed to have
maid don't suppose. Yes.
It's supposed to have.
So it's
what they call it. It's supposed to have a limit of what they do.
Limit. Yes.
They're not supposed to.
They're supposed
have a boundary.
Do all the
to have
yes.
a boundary where things that they is not supposed to, where they're not supposed to pass or where they're not supposed to get into. Like what you said now, they're not supposed to go and start dressing the Oga bed and all that. Reason what you're saying.
Yes, and making food for Oga. It's not supposed. Maid is a helper. What the maid is supposed to do is just to assist the madam. Maybe do some cleaning, bathing the children. But you see these days, madam, some of them due to their, I don't know whether all these they are, I should not go into that one, but many have many reasons. But especially those ones that fix nails, you see them there, they don't want to do the domestic work. They now hand everything over to the maid. Maid will be now doing all those things. It's not supposed to be so.
But their nails not supposed to stop them from doing what their duties.
Problems in a home because yes, you see that wives forget not to take their responsibilities. Maid don't supposed to do all those things.
Okay.
So I believe the topic which you brought today will enlighten us, especially the wives. Let them know their roles. Let them know their responsibility. Especially that food issue. Maid don't supposed to cook for Oga. Maid don't supposed to serve food for the master.
Okay. All
That's
right.
the work of the wife.
Okay.
So I believe this one.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for.
Yeah.
All right.
You're welcome.
The line is free. Call one on now on +44 744 982 3876. Baby Love put on a comment again. He said it's quite dangerous to depend too much on your maid as a wife. Sometimes women don't realize that their husbands are noticing these things. And when the man relates to the maid, the wife gets jealous, which is not supposed to be like that, which is not right. Ruth said, nice topic. From my own view, anything concerning the husband, the maid should not go near there, washing his clothes and underwear. I think that is a no-no, washing the underwear. I don't think is acceptable at all. Some women, they allow maid to take care of everything. Allow maid to do everything. They allow maid to do everything, which is not supposed to be like that. The line is, like I said, the line is open. Call me. Some of you that put in the comments, some ladies out there that are watching us, picked up the phone and call me. I want to hear you. I want to hear your voice. I want to know what you guys are saying. I want to know I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your views. Call me on the phone. Call. So like we were saying, discussing, why should a maid act as a wife in a home? The gentleman that called earlier already said everything. He said all that he has to say. He said that maid not supposed to cook for your husband. Maid not supposed to. They're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to wash the husband's underwear and all that. You're not supposed to go into their bedroom to clean up and set up the bed and all that. It's not right. Elijah, you're joining on the screen.
Hello there.
Hello there. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so what I have to say in this topic is apparently, it's a fact, it's a known fact that men sometimes are drawn to the primary carer of their offspring.
Mm-hmm.
And when a woman is obviously successful and they have a career, they are busy working on their career. Mm-hmm. And ensuring that they grow their business or maybe they are become more successful in their role. And that's in the first instance why they hire a nanny. Mm-hmm. If they are not successful, they wouldn't really need a nan or a nanny,
Okay.
And that is the phenomena that has swept through Hollywood and has swept through even Nollywood, and that has become a problem, among the elites. Mm-hmm. So that's what the issue in the first place. And then what happened there is that apparently the role of the nanny is to look after the children. And then when they start undertaking most of the roles, which naturally the wife does, mm-hmm. then that's where we have a problem. And also that means that when the man is now naturally developing feeling, even though he might not know about that, but because they are there having that attention from the nanny, it naturally developed over time. Mm-hmm. And so when the push comes to shove, what happens? Who would the man choose? Would they choose the nanny, or would they choose the beautiful wife who isn't there in the first place, who has not been present? So that is the thing there. So what happened is that men, again, they want what they can't get.
Yeah.
That is, in nature.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they know that the nanny is there, because they are young,
Mm-hmm.
and they are younger people, they are flirtatious,
Mm-hmm.
and they are active. So they start thinking, oh, this person, they start developing feeling. Even the nanny may not even have such feeling as well towards the man, but it starts developing in their head, and they may be thinking that they want them. Another issue with men is that when they look at themselves, they don't get the attention from the wife, and they feel like maybe they are no longer wanted, or maybe they are too old,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe they're no longer attractive to the wife.
Mm-hmm.
But then the nanny will give them attention only because they are paid to do so. This is their job, naturally, to give attention to the man. And the nanny will not be there. The more the nanny will not nag and complain about certain things with the wife we do.
Yeah.
The nanny will just get on with it. And when men sees that, they start misinterpreting it as a sign that they are now becoming more valued and more attention is being poured to them by the woman, the nanny. So the more they think about it, the more magical and desirable the nanny becomes. And, they can imagine interaction even when there isn't any, like I did mention. So the trouble is, even loving marriages sometimes fail. It doesn't mean that the man is no longer in love with the wife. But what that means is that the man, in most cases, have started developing ego boost.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have insecurity in them, which makes them feel that they may no longer be attractive to their wives, and they don't get the attention from the woman. So they start derailing. But then again, let us not forget that this has a damaging impact on the children. And the relationships is more than certain, almost certainly, more than always, it is doomed. So there are a lot of issues coming to the children. They have that confusion. It's very confusing to them. Somebody that is a nanny, and then a wife and the parent one time, and then another time they become a parent. So they cannot get it, and
they cannot differentiate between the mother.
Absolutely. So because the person has been a nanny and they have been used to them as someone that cares for them, all of a sudden they are now a parent. So it's quite damaging for them. And also there's an issue of trust, because the man was cheating on the wife when he was married, and then the nanny also was cheating on the married woman. So breaking him home. So invariably, the issue of trust will come at some point.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. If we look at it, that's the reason why I did mention that the relationship is almost certainly to end up very badly.
Okay. I understand. You touch a lot of areas, especially in that area where you said that when the nanny, sometimes they take up more roles in the family, where the man might develop feelings because the nanny has already taken the role, like what I said earlier. The nanny has already taken the role of the wife. She cook, she served the man, she done everything, and the man, the wife, maybe she might not feel it. She might not notice that her role is going, that someone has already taken that space. And once that maid took up that space, the man is the one, he sees the maid often. The maid cook, the maid serve, the maid prepare, the maid arrange everything in the house. Before you know what is going on, the wife is becoming irrelevant. She's no more there. The man started having feelings for the maid, which is very, very bad. Understand? So it's part of what we're asking this evening. You pointed, you hit it at the head, you hit it big time. You touch every area, especially when you said that when it comes to the children cannot differentiate who is the mom and who is the maid, because they always see the maid. They always see the maid every time. The maid will take them to school, bring them back home, give them food to eat, and all that, everything. Sometimes the wife, maybe she's working outside and she's coming back late. The maid will put them to bed, and they will take the maid as their mother, isn't it?
Yeah, because the maid is there providing emotional, support to the children, and they are the one that they can see all the time, and the woman is chasing the career, and the man also, naturally, like I did mention these things, he may not know that naturally he's developing a feeling. And the woman, the nanny, may not even know about it. She might still go about doing her job. And then, but the man will be thinking that the woman desires him. So this is the problem. And where it gets so complicated and where it gets so damaging is when the relationship eventually, starts a relationship between the man and the nanny. And that's where the children gets confused. Because as far as they know, this was a house helper who has been helping. And then in this minute, they are now parents. They at the end of the day, they will lose out because one person will leave the relationship, whether it is the mom or the nanny.
Or the nanny.
And then that gets even more complicated.
Oh no. Yeah, that is it. Big time. Yeah, that's it. Because most times a lot of things that most times in the family we take for granted. We take a lot of things for granted. Both the husband and the wife, sometimes they take things for granted, especially in the developing world. Because here in the developed world in Europe, you have care because the wife and the husband, sometimes most of them they are working at the same time. They have a carer. They can take the children to care, or they can have someone taking care of the home. But once the madam comes home or the husband comes home, they have to leave. Their job is finished. They have to go. Do you understand? But mostly in the developing world, most of them they have the maid living with them, and the madam sometimes might go because they have a maid now. She will focus on her career and all that. She need to work more harder. Sometimes they come back late at night because they already know that someone is at home that will make sure that everything is in order. The maid will take care of all that, cooking and everything. And then without knowing that they're opening they're opening a space in there, and that space not supposed to be open. And that space, if the maid take up that space, it's always difficult. It's always bad. It brings a lot of dispute in the family because if the maid is the one cooking, serving the husband all the time, she's always in the front of the husband. The husband sees the maid often. It brings the same thing what you just said now. The man might start having some feelings, which is it's not really good. It's not good at all.
So in another way, what we could say, advising people, because these things, like you did mention, in a developing world, they sometimes live with the nanny. I use the word nanny and you're using the word maid. So obviously we are talking about the same person, the same thing. Whereas here in a developed country, you see where they can. It could be that they are living with them depending on their financial capacity anyway. But it's not common for people to live with a nanny because of affordability compared to developing world where they could afford to do that. So I think the best way to go about this kind of issue to avoid it occurring in the first instance is to have a work-life balance. The couple involved, the woman and the hubby, have a work-life balance where, in as much as the woman is successful, because you wouldn't want your partner to be over-reliant on you and not have a career. That's, again, is not helpful for the family as well.
Yeah.
Because the burden of the financial burden will be on the man.
It'll be only on the man.
That is very, very exhausting. Yeah. So, but when the woman has a career and the man has a career, it balances the family, and it also shows the children that they can achieve. It's more encouraging to put the youngest there, or the daughters, not to say that they are not aspiring, but when they see their mother successful, it's more likely that they will be successful in life. So when a woman is working, it's quite encouraging. What they need to do, in my opinion, is to have a work-life balance. When when you are at work, do your role, finish, come back home, and then even if you have a maid, let them do whatever they are there to do, and then leave some responsibility for yourself, and don't let them overstep that boundary. Always ensure the boundary is there. in your home.
But can you enlighten us a bit? Just highlight the boundary, the how you can balance it. Because, for example, if you said that the woman, she might like to work, she will pursue her career, she will need to provide for the family as well, support the husband, all that. But what about her role in the house? What about her role in that home? Understand, how can she balance the work and just take up her role at the same time? You understand? Even that is a little bit, most time is a bit confusing.
Let me say work-life balance. Like, let's say, for example, you mentioned about cooking for the husband. So this is the one instance where both the man and the woman can cook together. Even while they are cooking, they can bond. The woman is cooking and the husband is helping her bring out some of the little things, even though he might not be doing a lot, but, supply a lot of chat while the woman is busy running around in the kitchen. You're there supplying all the gist, helping to fetch some certain things, and you're helping to do little, things around there, and you're bonding while you're cooking. By the time you finish making the food, you have spent quite a lot of time. So this is one primary thing there. And that's the work-life balance. Know when you come back, know when you do what you do, your bedtime, spending time with your children, bonding with them, and don't let the nanny overstep that boundary. This is the kind of thing I mean. Play your parental role and then being present there.
Okay. All right. But sometimes it's a bit difficult because if you're working at the same time, playing your parental role, most times, and having a maid or having a nanny at home, most times they relax. As a human being, sometimes you relax because you have a maid or you have a nanny at home that take care of that. Sometimes out of sight, they can just relax and then, and just allow the nanny to do everything. You understand? So
let the maid or the nanny do. Let them do what they got to do. Let them play their own role. They have the role to play. You employ them for a service, for a job. Let them do the job you employ them for. It could be for them to help with the cleaning around the house. It could be for them to help with laundry.
Okay, we'll go with call. Hello.
Yeah. I was following the program. I was viewing it. Okay. I love what the caller was saying.
It's Elijah.
Very, very interesting.
Elijah, Mr.
Yeah,
Elijah.
okay, yeah. Elijah. Okay, Mr. Elijah. I love what Mr. Elijah was saying. Mr. Elijah was saying when a woman knows her role as a wife in the house. Understand?
Okay.
But the issue, what we are saying now, when the maid take position of a wife, means that the wife does not know her rule, does not know her responsibility, what her onions. Understand? Because what Mr. Elijah was saying was right. But when the woman knows her duty in her house, then she knows how to manage it. When he mentioned of the woman cooking in the house and the husband can assist. Yeah, when some women, when they know that, if the two of them are the working class type, once they come back, they know that they are working, there's no time. Then the husband can endure. Then two of them can enter into a kitchen, prepare what they are doing, what they want to eat, serve the kids. But in a situation where we are saying, because what brought about maid or nanny taking the responsibility or taking over the wife means that the wife in question don't know her responsibility. Because these days, when you are talking in advanced country or developed country, you understand? But if you bring it down here, some women, they feel that it's because they use that word maid or nanny, they feel that because they are madam, they can leave everything for the nanny, which is not true, which is not good. Because that one should be another topic. Some wives allow the maid to do all the housework without allowing their own kids to assist. Because while the kids are doing it, they are knowing it. But if you say that you are punishing or they are maltreating the maid to do all the work, The maid is learning it while your children, once they go into their husband's side, they cannot do anything. But that one should be another issue. But the issue of this one now we are talking, understand? The maid does all the things. That means when the maid is doing all those things, the husband, he married the wife for the wife to supply or to give her what he's supposed to give him. Understand? In terms of placing food on his table, cooking, doing all those domestic. But in the case the woman or the wife will leave it for the maid to do. Why doing? Mr. Elijah says something. When the maid is doing all those things, without knowing that maybe how the maid does it, maybe she will impress the husband. And when all those things are going on, the husband can compare, understand? Psychologically, if the husband will assume that the wife does not know how to do those things. I know women want to marry a woman that can cook very well.
Okay.
Men don't play with their stomach.
All right.
Right?
Okay.
So if the man understands that the woman, the maid, does all everything, and the wife, the man will start having interest. But we are just saying those things that will derail, those things that will make the husband to remove his interest in his wife. That's what we are saying now. Because most of
it shouldn't allow that. The wife shouldn't allow that. They shouldn't allow them to go to that. Okay, I understand now coming from what you're saying. But we have to analyze it now straight away. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm still following up.
All right, thanks.
I'm still.
All right. Still, he was just concurring to what you just said earlier. Understand when a woman they leave everything for the maid to do or just to carry on the duties, everything.
I've got to say, the last caller, there is a point he made there. He mentioned there, which I quite like. When he said that when the woman kind of leaves all the responsibilities for the nanny, it affects the children invariably and the husband because the children are not learning that life skills.
Yeah.
When in the house, the children helps to pick up after themselves. It helps them to know that these are the things they need to do actually to be successful.
Yeah.
But when somebody else is doing it, you kind of, give them the other impression that life is just a rosy and somebody is always there.
Yeah.
There's always a ferry that will pick up after you. Now, there's another point the caller mentioned, which I like to raise. Let us understand this, that our wives or the women are not slaves or domestic servants. They also have a role to play as a wife.
Yes.
And being a wife, this is the thing. You don't want your wife or the women to be overburdened or to be overwhelmed with domestic responsibility. That is why the point I was making before the call came in, you were asking me, how can their boundary be, how can you ensure
how can you balance it? Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. So when you have the husband helping, like we just mentioned, helping the wife when they can. Remember, they've paid this maid to help them do the house chore. Now, when they can, and the ones where they could do, putting the kids to bed, picking up after them like the laundry or cooking, they bond and do it together. And while they are doing it, they are teaching it to the children.
Yeah.
And when they are learning that, the family is growing. You're developing that emotional, that feelings and emotion, and you keep the love and the relationship afresh.
Yeah.
Rather than when the man is disconnected and the woman is constantly away chasing career, and the children are just minding their own business, and the nanny is picking after
everything.
The whole.
Yeah,
that is where the problem.
That's what the problem.
So that is the work-life balance I mentioned, and that's what the last caller mentioned. I like.
Okay.
About helping the children. Okay.
Okay. All right. That's why I said to you, was concurring to what you were saying. He was just like pointing out to what you're saying, because when it's not only the wife, when the family, both the husband and the wife, sometimes because sometimes the women, they might forget. The husband's supposed to talk to the wife, communicate to the wife. I said, listen, I don't really understand I don't like what you're doing. I think you are leaving everything for this nanny or for this maid to be doing, which is not right. I don't like that. When you said that to her, sometimes you find out that maybe you bring them back. Maybe they just doing it unknowingly, without even thinking about it. But communicating, talking to them might touch them. Like they say to you, okay, oh, I didn't know that something like this was happening. I thought maybe she was just helping out. I didn't know that she has already taken my role or something. It would make the woman to think and then come back to her senses, So that's what we're discussing. The line is open. The line is free. Call one on now on +44 744 982 3876. Call now. The line is free. Okay, there's one thing I want to ask. Someone said that because of how things are these days, things are getting expensive. The cost of living, everything is going. That even is difficult for one person to sustain. They need two income in a home. You understand that most times because of that they employ a maid or employ a nanny. All right, but most times the ladies, they work maybe in the bank or they work in some companies or corporate offices that they finish work so late. They finish work very, very late. Most times when they come back home, they come back around 9 o'clock. And getting home, they are very tired. You understand? They're very tired. And because of that, they always suggest that they will get a nanny or get a maid that is doing that. But how do you see that if a woman is still in that kind of role, coming back late because of work duties? Don't you think it will affect the home?
Sorry, I'm losing you slightly, so I didn't get the whole thing you said.
I said that. Okay, let me phrase it. I said because of a woman, because of you touched this before. You said that a woman she have to work to support the husband. Okay.
Yes.
On that angle, sometimes they might even get a job in a bank, or they can get a job in a corporate offices that because demand at work might make them to be coming back late at night. They'll be coming back very late, roughly around 9 o'clock or 10. Coming back, they are exhausted. They are tired. Understand? And because of that, they will employ a nanny or a maid at home that will take care of everything. You get me? But what I'm saying, at the long run, most times it do affect the home. If some men, they will start complaining. Some of them might not complain. It depends. If they are getting all the attention or getting all the satisfaction that they need from the other side, they might not complain. But some of the other ones that will complain, they will still complain and they bring dispute in the family. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, there's a point you mentioned there in the first instance. You said both the man and the woman are so busy and they come back late. So there's a point there. They come back late, both of them. They have a high career, which means that they are always away at home, and they are bringing a nanny to help them with childcare. So in that instance, it's quite straightforward because if they both coming in late, the nanny is there to do the house responsibilities and then to help them conserve some strength. It is only fair if both of them have a high-powered job and they cannot be able to pick up, do some of the domestic. And they can afford it.
I said about the lady, if she working, maybe sometimes you find out women, they are working in a bank or they work in some corporate offices that they come back very late.
So that is.
Yeah, hello. Good evening. Hello, good evening. Yeah.
Good evening. Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm Victor from Nigeria.
Hello, Victor.
Yeah, I got your program. It's really inspiring, and I believe the major points have been thrown here from Bro Johnson especially, but I want to highlight from my own points, apart from the ones mentioned here.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the issue of a maid at home should be taken seriously. Like, it's not something it's not a thing you just go and search and pick up someone from anywhere. Like, you have to calm down, and yeah, appearance matters too. You don't look for a young girl that is attractive, maybe beautiful, and you want to take her as a maid. The maid should be different from the wife. There should be a class, you know. The maid is no way in class with the wife.
Mm-hmm.
There should be a huge difference. When searching for one, you don't have to go for these young, vibrant ladies that will kind of entice and seduce the husband at home. You should go for someone that is maybe an older person, or someone that is, in fact, someone that is unattractive.
Okay.
Am
Someone
I
that
am I making sense?
okay, all right. I got where you're coming from. I understand. I don't know if you understand what he was saying.
Yeah,
Yes,
You understand the
and
area he was coming. I'm to asking Mr. Elijah. Do you understand where he's coming?
yes, I do understand what you say, and I quite agree with you in a way, because the risk with men, the risk and the fantasy is of a
yeah,
hookup is quite thrilling. And again, men are seen as very friendly and flirtatious. They are young,
Mm-hmm.
and they are all they are playing with the children, and they can be tagged as being fun, like like the wife. So this is the point you're making, and that is the point, the area where the wife, should ensure that they play their role by not letting their men had to be stolen. Apparently, that is what it is.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Thank you, Victor.
it takes a disciplined man. It takes
Thank
a
you, Victor.
disciplined man to kind of control himself.
It takes
Yeah,
it takes a disciplined man to control yourself.
yeah, in terms of appearance, sometimes maybe when the wife is not around, they will feel like kind of trying to fill up the gap of the wife, something like that, and they end up messing up. God fearing man.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I love your program. It's so inspiring. In fact, I'm recommending it to most of my friends, and they are enjoying it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So thank you for calling. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. Hello, the line is open. The line is free. Call one on now on +44 744 982 3876. Okay. Call now. The line is free. Yeah, someone put a comment. If when you get home, if you just referring to a woman, when a woman get home from work, no matter the time, they should check their kids. Even when they are at work, they should call and know what is going on at home. Understand? Yes. Who are they calling? Is it the maid or is it the husband? Understand? Or are they checking on the kids when they come back late and all that? Those are the things that we have to put into consideration and all that. Because like I said at the beginning, I said this is a critical. They just said is one of those topics that most people is just normal. But if you look into it, he has broken a lot of homes. He has bring a lot of problem in the homes. A lot.
It's a pandemic, especially in. Sorry to interrupt you. It's a pandemic, especially in Hollywood. There has been, over the years, there has been lots and lots of uncountable issues and cases like that. So it is something that has been a pandemic, and that should have been addressed.
Okay. Yeah. Hello, Johnson.
Yeah, I want to highlight on what Victor had just said.
Just in a minute, a sentence, just in a sentence. We're trying to round up in a sentence. Yeah,
in a nutshell. That's the reason why the wife should make that maid or nanny to have his own boundary or limit, and have limit in certain things.
Okay.
So that those things cannot be attracted by the husband.
Okay.
When a wife made that maid or nanny to have his or her own boundary and limit, you have limitation of things. You don't engage her in major, there are major things in a family. When you disengage the nanny or maid from it, I believe those things, that attraction may not be there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. It was still referring to attraction with maid if you bring in a young maid. But if bringing a young maid does not mean that even if you have a young maid at home, the man, it depends on the man, isn't it? It doesn't matter if he's a young maid or adult maid or whoever, a nanny or whoever he is. If the man is not, the man is not principled, if somebody that cannot control his emotions and everything, no matter what, they can still like do whatever. The only thing is just for the wife to. No, the wife shouldn't give whoever, maid or nanny or whatever, not supposed to give them that space. Let them take up their role. That's what we're discussing this evening.
So that's the key thing. But how would the woman know? Because the woman genuinely is trying to help the family grow. And then as far as she's concerned, she's pulling her weight, trying to get a career and to be successful for the family. Yeah. So how would she know that she's creating a gap there, which the maid is feeling? So I think it's something that has to do with character and the dignity of the man in another share. So when such things happen, I think what the man would do, if the man find out that the wife has been, so consumed with her career, she can start, how did you marry her in the first instance? You chased after her, you went after her, you tried to win her, use every tactics, when you're going after a woman, do it again.
Yeah.
Try to have that conversation and tell the woman that, the presence is not being fed at home. And sometimes it could be that she's doing it unintentionally. So it's just to call her back and then have that conversation and discipline yourself. So there's no right or wrong way about the man going after the maid when the woman is busy chasing a career. But what we are discussing is you as a wife, do your role and make sure that you do not create unnecessary boundary or barrier that will make the man to back flirting about with the maid.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Elijah, to coming in and joining us today. I really appreciate your contribution, and I know that most of our viewers, they will gain and they will learn a lot of things from what you said and all that. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for honoring our invitation. All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Okay. All right. We just have to round up now. The program is 1 hour straight away. We discuss in this evening why should a maid act as the wife in the family, and all the calls that we called and everything. Like I said, most of the topics that we pick up here is some of the topics that we, the families, husband and wife, we neglect them. We think it's just normal thing. A maid or a nanny in the house, the wife will just allow the nanny to take up the role of the wife and everything, which is not right. It brings a lot of dispute. It brings a lot of division in the home. Even they affect the children, they affect the wife, affect the husband and all that. Understand? And based on all that we discussed this evening, hopefully we can learn one or two out of it. Understand? Then we can know where we can put on the boundary, we can put up the demarcation and all that. Everybody have to know their role and what. Understand? So we're running up, and if it's the first time you join us, thank you for joining us today to Wano, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Wano_JJ on Twitter. And then the same time, we're doing this every Friday, 7 p.m. UK time. Hopefully, I will see you guys again next week, Friday, on another edition. And please, don't forget to share this program. God bless.